What is up, Grovelanders? We are already halfway through our whole day in Camden, Maine.
Can't believe it.
We never did an intro, but what we did do was our lighthouse and lobstering cruise. That was awesome. Right here off of this harbor, Camden Harbor. So everything so far has been just walking around right here.
Yeah.
Our car has been parked the whole time. So far on our trip, obviously Salem was a high point, the historical stuff.
Loved it.
But also this boat tour right now, lobstering.
One of my favorite
educational.
things.
You don't go far out there. It's not a very long thing. It was about an hour and 15, hour and a half. But the explanation of how lobstering is done, you get to take pictures, video of the lobsters. Yep, you can name the lobster.
We did. Fred.
Fred the lobster. Do you think this is the pirate cruise? Along the harbor here, there's all different cruises you can take right here. Every tables are lined up. And you prepay online, or maybe if they have openings you can buy on the spot, but everyone has a boat for whatever you want to do. Lighthouse, lobstering, there's like an old sailboat, like schooner, sailing tour.
This is a fully certified Coast Guard vessel, and as such we have to go over just a few safety features here. Personal flotation device, simply stick it over your head, take the strap, put it around the back, click it on, cinch it in tight, and now you're good and ready to go swimming. Right above us is a self-inflating life raft. Should you go overboard, I'll toss you the life ring. And I promise we'll pick you up on the way back. And about 2/3 of the way up is an opening in the canopy. You'll see an eagle's nest there.
See the eagle's nest here?
That's been there about 10 years. And eagles come back to it each year. They keep adding to that nest. It's about the size of a queen-size bed. It weighs in around 2,000 pounds.
In the center of that tree.
Yeah.
Yes. That's an eagle's nest. These are small Jonah crabs. I'm gonna pull out some of the bigger ones for you to see. Okay, so we have a couple of types of licenses. We have a commercial license, and you do an apprenticeship, and then you can apply to get that commercial license. That entitles you to haul up to 800 traps. They can do about 200 traps in the space of a day. Or then there's a recreational license, which is what we have, and you're allowed to have 5 traps. First thing that the lobstermen, the commercial lobstermen are going to do is they're going to take the lobster and examine the underside. right in this region right here, are visible eggs. Now the eggs would look like little black or dark gray ball bearings. No eggs visible. Next thing they're looking for is to see if there's a notch in the tail. If they had either a notch in the tail or the eggs, they would have to be thrown back in. If they had the eggs and no notch, we'd have to put a notch in. What it says is, this is a breeding female lobster. And that's to keep the population up. There's no notch in here, and there's no eggs visible. Now the question is it a male or a female? These are called swimmerettes. And the top two swimmerettes, right here. Top two swimmerettes are soft. And that tells me that it's a female.
So the males.
Where? What's these things?
Yep, right here.
Oh, okay. Little skinny thing.
Yeah.
Skinny. Okay. I was thinking. Where would the eggs be?
They'd be all lined up in here.
Okay.
One of this size is probably 6 to 7 years old and has molted out of the shell. When they molt out of the shell, they literally open up right here. This back carapace, their exoskeletons, our skeleton is inside, theirs is on the outside. This opens up and they back out of that, eat their shell, and then proceed to hide underneath the rock until their new shell hardens up. So it takes about 2 to 3 weeks to harden up. Now the next question is it a keeper? So what we are allowed to keep is anything that's 3 1/4 inches or larger up to 5 inches. So
What if it's more than 5?
if it's more than 5, we have to put it back in the water. Super breeder. So we're going to put this in right by the eye socket. They move the eyeball out of the way, and we measure it to the back carapace, and it's more than 3 1/4 inches. So it's a keeper.
Keepa.
Lobster's a keeper.
Keepa lobster.
That's Boston.
So how long can they stay out of the water?
They can stay out of the water when they have the hard shell. 3, 4 days. Put them in your salad crisper. Keep them cold. They breathe regular air as well as from underneath the water. Now, the claws. This is a crusher claw and a cutter claw. Think of someone stepping on your finger that's 200 pounds. That's the strength in this claw. What we need to do is we need to band this. We simply open it up, put it over, release, twist, and now it's done. Now we do this not to protect us, but to keep them from eating the rest of the lobsters that are in the tank. Gotta get some more rubber bands.
It's like the leg bands.
Strengthen your fingers.
Now, should a lobster eat some other lobster's claw, these claws will grow back. Same thing with any of the legs. This one, take a look at the bottom. Take a look at the top 2 swimmerettes. And this is hard. So that's the male.
And they're called swimmerettes.
Yeah, these are all called swimmerettes.
So how would you put a notch in them? Like you said, the female.
Okay, I'll show you a tool. And what we do is we put the notch right in that particular.
So when somebody else catches them, they just immediately know.
They'll see it.
Okay.
Even if there's no eggs, if they see the notch, it says to the lobsterman, this is a breeding female, put it back in the water.
Okay. What do you put in them that attracts the lobster to it and they climb up in that little net hole? and
Yes,
get
I
trapped?
haven't gotten that far yet. You're
Oh.
right. The question is, what is it that we're using to attract
the lobsters. And we use a couple of different fish. In the harbor, you may have seen little fish jumping.
There's all kinds of fish out here feeding right now. You can see their fins sticking up out of the water. They were kind of aggressive a little bit ago, but they kind of settled down. Oh, there's some splashing. I wonder what kind of fish they are.
Those are pogies. Menhaden. And
That's what we catch redfish with.
that's what's in there. And that's what we use. We also use alewives, herring, mackerel, any of those oily types of fish. And we'll stick them in the bait bag, twist them, split them open, so that the oils will come out. So this section of the trap where the bait is hung, we have the two entrances here, which are called heads. And the bait bag is hung in what's called the kitchen. That's this half of the... Once they've worked on some of the food, they'll travel up thinking they're escaping and drop into this section, which is called the parlor. If you're out offshore ways, they'll have another section to these traps, and that's called the bedroom. It's a fancy house, a Victorian house. Pink
And green.
and green,
Red and green.
not red and green either. Salmon
I was about to say
and
salmon.
seaweed.
I was about to say salmon and sea. I was about to say
Anyone want to help me push this in?
you want to come up down here and go help push it up?
Yeah, the bay was overfished in the 70s, basically, and a lot of the populations are still recovering. And in a few moments, I'll resume this, but we'll get the trap down. All right. Go for it. So, we were talking about. You can get lucky.
Was it everything you thought it would be?
Here.
Yes. There's gonna be a lot of lobster in that one.
And the perils of Niagara. It's kind of this jungle jane
That
like
feels weird.
so sometimes you're literally ending in these cliffhangers. She was a bit of an eccentric when she retired.
Alright, I'm ready for a picture.
And she was known to
You gonna kiss it?
roll costume and wander up and down Main Street.
He's so cute. He's so cute, isn't he?
Yeah.
We should name him
Fred? Is this Fred?
Fred.
New ones?
Poor Fred. I loved it. So that is one of my top 3 of the whole trip so far. I absolutely loved it. Let's go eat.
So right
everything.
now we are going to McLoon's because it was highly rated.
The people next to us on the boat, because as we all know, I talk to anyone, they actually were wearing the
Yeah, the
McLoon's
McLoon's shirt.
And she said it was all lobster meat and fabulous, like the best ever. So, I'm hungry.
My
Let's
stomach's
go.
already growling. McLoon's, we are coming for you. The smell, just getting out of the car, it smells like lobster and sea.
It's gorgeous here.
Yeah, nice breeze. I'm gonna try a blueberry soda main root. So we did get grilled clams. I never had them on the grill. I mean, it's just a different method of heating them up so they open to eat, but I am assuming that's butter. Thank you.
There you go, no problem.
Wow.
Holy.
And then our lobster roll just came. Side of coleslaw. Oh look, a pickle. Just for you.
Yay. That looks delicious.
It's like a fork pick.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to do this because we all know how sloppy I am. Oh wow.
What's the butter? Is there seasoning?
Yeah, it's like parsley
Oh.
and garlic.
Well, have a wonderful trip, guys.
Thank you.
You too.
Enjoy.
Those are good clams. Like fabulous clams. Again, this is something that like you're like, damn, I'm never gonna get again.
So good.
They're so good. Did you get a picture of that? 'Cause that
Yes.
looks fabulous.
Let me taste a little piece of lobster first. It's cold, just so you know. It's just straight lobster.
All right, eat.
Tiny, so they put a little bit of mayonnaise on the roll. They asked how I want it. I said, however, I keep hearing how good it is here, just make it that way.
Nice. Good. You should get one to take back to the hotel to eat later.
The butter roll, like the flavor of the little bit of butter, straight lobster. Definitely, this is the way to do a lobster roll. So the butter is on the side, and now it's all in the boat. But
Trying to stir it up.
they say it's typically on the side, and you add how much you want.
Try.
It's just like so fresh.
They literally
And
just pulled
light.
it out of the water.
They pull the lobsters right up here.
Right up here.
They keep them in the harbor water. That they're literally fresh. That fresh. That's awesome.
I know the dog's like lunch.
What's
What a great place to keep it. Yeah, well, it keeps it fresh.
It is so good. I'm gonna try it with a little butter.
oh well, I'm gonna eat that even though it's on the ground.
That is delicious. That bun. I usually don't eat the buns. I mean, I would eat this, but. Did you want some of this?
Yep. It's pretty much perfection.
Yeah.
And they not only have lobsters and clams here, but they have desserts. And of course, as I was sitting here waiting, the thing I wanted, the blueberry bread pudding, sold out. So it looks like we're gonna try the key lime pie. The lobster boat just pulled in, so we're gonna get to see how much they grabbed for the day's haul. Looks like they just took those gray bins, load them up. On our lobster trip, they said commercial fishermen can have up to 200 lobster traps out in the water. And right now, this season, the average is 1 keeper lobster for every 2 traps. That's it. So it's not the best of seasons, they were saying. The price of lobster had skyrocketed, but it recently has come back down, but retail stores have not lowered their prices yet. So out on the boats, wholesale, I should say, off the boats, the price of lobster right now is around $4 a pound. It was 4 to 5 times that just recently, but it's now down around $4 a pound. But the retail stores and restaurants have not reflected that decline in price yet, so we're still paying a pretty premium for lobster right now on this trip. And that's going to wrap up this one. As always, thanks for watching. If you haven't subscribed yet, please do so. It is absolutely free and helps out the channel a lot. Colleen and I absolutely loved the lobstering tour. So if you find yourself in Camden and you're looking to do a boating excursion, definitely look up Camden Harbor Cruises. The website is linked below. And McLoon's, the best lobster roll for sure, made with the freshest lobster directly out of the harbor. That was insane. Definitely both things were a highlight of the trip. Stay tuned for more. We got a couple more videos coming up from our 5-day New England adventure. And then we got a couple videos coming out from our time spent in Virginia last weekend. So as always, thanks for watching. Until next time, last tag.